Good day to all you glorious Rascallion Resonators. The name's FOXSOL. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to some more Wuthering Waves. And like always, I'm hoping that you're having a terrific, fantastic, amazing day. So, what is today's subject about? Today's subject of topic is going to be about Kuro Games themselves, the publisher, developer of Wuthering Waves, and just about the generosity that they have provided to the player base of Wuthering Waves. So, if you're interested in this topic, feel free to take a seat at the bar, grab yourself something cold to drink, relax, and let's dive right into the topic. Now, I want to make sure that first and foremost, when we are going to be discussing this, that everybody understands that, you know, I do like to ramble, and I'm going to try to stay on point with the subject as best as possible, because I like to discuss the elements of, first and foremost, you know, I want to discuss, you know, what has Kuro Game given us? What are the pros and the cons of what Kuro Game has given us? To the weaponization that other content creators are somewhat using against, you know, Kuro Games by giving away, you know, such things as free 5-star vouchers for characters, Yao, for example. These are different elements that, you know, all come together, and just my general thought process behind it as well. So, first and foremost, what Kuro Games has done, and this has been done since 1.0 into 1.1 into 1.2, but Kuro Games, you know, if you haven't been under a rock, has been a exceptional developer, if you would. And what I mean by that is that with the most recent updates and everything, you can see that we're playing Yao, which is a free 5-star character that Kuro Games, all you had to do was a simple little event, get 6,000 points, and boom, you got this character for free. All right? In all honesty, you still had to earn it a little bit, but let's be honest, 6,000 popularity points for the Moonlit Festival crap wasn't anything. The Moon Festival was nothing for 6,000 points. But you did it, and you got a free Yao. Before, they gave us a voucher for, you know, a free 5-star character of your choosing. They gave you a list of characters. I think it was like 4 or 5 characters. And, hey, you pick one of the characters, and it's yours. So, why would Kuro Games do this? First and foremost, I do understand, and trust me, a lot of people don't believe that, you know, I'm intelligent. But first and foremost, yes, it was a marketing strategy by Kuro Games, if you want to really think about it. Because for players out there who were on the edge of, you know, I'm not sure if I want to play Wuthering Waves, an appetizing sample, if you would, of a free 5-star character voucher, you know, where you could have picked Baran, you could have picked Qianqi, you could have picked Calchero, whatever. With that list, Lin Yang was a very smart move behind Kuro Games, as it was a way of, you know, for new players to be enticed to come in, pick up Wuthering Waves, and play. And I give them full props on that. With that, though, it wasn't just free 5-star characters that they gave. There's been like some issues with Wuthering Waves, with, you know, translation issues here, performance problems, and Kuro Games, you know, has compensated players very generously in my personal opinion, especially like with the echo system, when, you know, they realized, yeah, the cost of the echo is a little bit too high, we're gonna repay y'all guys back like what, over 1 million shells and stuff like this. And they did that, you know, they didn't have to, they did that. And that's where Kuro Games really earns my respect, is that they went above and beyond, in my personal opinion, to showcase that they actually are listening, that they actually do care about their players. You know, the people who are actually playing this game, and they want to do more to make sure that they're having the best experience that they possibly can. So by, yes, giving, you know, free characters such as Yao, as whatever your choosing of was for the free 5-star voucher, Kuro Games has really earned my respect as a developer, and is one of the main reasons that I do very much put Wuthering Waves at a high regards, and I do hold it to a pretty heavy, you know, status compared to other developers that I have, you know, worked with in the sense of playing their games. Kuro Games is one of the very few developers that I actually see that there is a passion behind what they're trying to do for us as players.
Watch out.
Now, with that being stated, though, I will say that, you know, there is some pros. There's that, you know, there's a lot of pros with this, and there is some cons, and those cons are what some people in general are using to weaponize against Wuthering Waves. And you're gonna be like, probably like me originally, and be like, how the hell, you know, can you weaponize? Like, why would anybody, you know, look at, you know, giving away free units or, you know, free compensation be a bad thing, their generosity being a bad thing? Because that's all, you know, in all honesty, it is a pro move for you as a player, as for me as a player. So the only one that's hurting is Kuro Games. Well, some people are using it as a weaponized event, and I will say it like this: I'm sure you've ran across maybe 1 or 2 videos in this regard that's like trying to say that Kuro Games, the reason why Yao's even a free 5-star unit, for example, is because Kuro Games is hurting right now because players aren't playing the game, and they're trying to bring players into the game. They're trying to use this fucking website, which is Gotcha Revenue, which, first and foremost, before we continue on, I will say it like this: they're trying to use this Gotcha Revenue website to say that Wuthering Waves is in a situation where it's going to die. Heck, there is some people out there who think that, you know, Wuthering Waves is going to be at end of service before the end of the year. I know. If you watch my video content and such, you already know how much I despise these type of people, because they don't actually do any type of research. They just say shit just to say it, and it's absolutely asininely fucking inept. It's truly remarkable to the extent that some people are going to make content, and this is how they're going to make content. But there is people out there that is stating this stuff, and they're using like the Gotcha Revenue system. And one of the videos that I've seen over YouTube, which I'm not going to mention, you know, who it is or whatever, but I'm sure that there is some people who've seen the videos, and yeah, I'll just leave it like that. I'm not going to go too far into it. But the case idea behind it is that with the Gotcha Revenue, with what's happened with Wuthering Waves over the last month, you know, it's lost a lot of money. According to him, it went down by half, and that's a bad sign, blah blah blah. And Yao was a free unit in order to ensure that, you know, we could try to pull in players, because, oh, I'll get this character for free with the free 5-star voucher, all this other stuff. And that's what they're using as a weaponized event to try to make Wuthering Waves look like it's in worse shape than what it actually fucking is. Now, in terms of, and I've already had this conversation before, but I will say it again, in terms of gotcharevenue.com, we have to understand that that website does not take into account a lot of different things. Number 2, there was a lot of competition that came about with Wuthering Waves. You know, ZZZ was a competition. Whether people believe it or not, it was a competition, because let's put it this way: Wuthering Waves came out, ZZZ announced their release date, Wuthering Waves pushed their 1.1 update you know, originally was set for a certain time period, but they pushed it, they advanced it by 2 weeks in order to make sure that 1.1 was not going to be anywhere near the release date of ZZZ, to ensure that, you know, it had a good chance to make sure it pulled in people, because let's be honest, people think with their wallets, they don't think about truly the game. You know, if you were a person who was excited for both Wuthering Waves and ZZZ, and you know, oh, ZZZ came out first, I mean, Wuthering Waves came out first, you know what, you're more inclined to play it until you wait for ZZZ, then you get the announcement, oh, ZZZ's coming in next month, and you're already investing in Wuthering Waves. That was Kuro's Game's way of being like, shit, we need to advance this update in order to make sure that, you know, we're giving 1.1 the best chance possible. That was a situation. From that point of view, you know, with ZZZ's release, Wuthering Waves, it kind of went down in the revenue department. Not by much, but you know, compared to release and everything, it went down. And then we also got to take into account that it's not counting the PC sales of it, because like, for example, I play the PC sale, I play PC, so my revenue is not being counted into Wuthering Waves' gotcha revenue, which I know a lot of other players who play, again, Wuthering Waves on PC rather than mobile. So gotcha revenue, just for anyone out there who doesn't realize this, it only picks up, you know, the mobile devices, mobile sales. But that is just really where it comes into. So with that being stated, and with people trying to take that situation, you know, especially with last month's, you know, small number, and not realizing it, you know, 1.2 wasn't update that really, like myself or many others, found too exciting. So, you know, we're all saying, you know what, we don't really care about Zayshay, we're gonna get Yao for free. A lot of people are more interested in other characters that should be coming out. We care about the Shorekeeper, we care about Scar, Camellia. There's other characters that people are more interested in. So yeah, the revenue kind of dipped. But with the free 5-star character Yao, people are saying that, you know, oh, because Wuthering Waves had this trouble with the revenue, this is what ended up happening. That's not the case. So, that point being stated, you know, that's the weaponizing of how they're trying to portray it. But the thing is that that's not really the con. Like, that's not what someone should be explaining if there is a con behind this, because the con behind giving away, you know, free characters, free 5-star characters, has nothing to do whether or not, you know, the game is dying as an inner service, stuff like this, that they're not having the player base that they want, blah blah blah. That's not what it's all about. The con behind it, if you're going to try to present a con, is, I'm going to put it like this. The con that I see with providing, you know, 5-star characters like you have done so far, 2 of them. You've provided a free Vulture, you've provided Yao. Well, guess what? We come to a problem now to where people have an expectation. And hopefully, if you're watching like this video and everything else, and you're playing Wuthering Waves, you're not like one of these people. But there is going to be some people out there that the day that Wuthering Waves like legitimately stops giving away a 5-star character or good shit in a sense, is the moment that people are going to get a little upset. These are, you know, respectable, very generous moments of Kuro Games right now that they're doing to showcase to the fan base that, hey, look, we do care from your feedback, from the issues that we provide. We want to make sure that we are rewarding our you know, players the best that we can to ensure that they're having the best experience they can have. And this right here, you know, shouldn't be looked upon to where it's like, oh well, Kuro Games every 2 months needs to give me something. And I have this sneaky suspicion you're going to start seeing content like this, to where if Wuthering Waves, if Kuro Games future wise, you know, they slack off on the generosity, right? They're going to slack off a little bit, and I expect that should happen, but they slack off and they're not going to provide, you know, any more 5-star characters. Then at that point in time, you know, you probably are going to have a couple of people that's going to be a little upset because, well, where's my free 5-star characters? You did that for 1.0, you did it for 1.2, you know, why aren't you doing it for 1.4 or something? You know, that they're going to be a little upset. It's like going ahead and just, you know, handing a homeless person $10, you know, one day and trying to help them out so that way they get a meal, and then every single day they're expecting you, every time you walk by them, to give them another fucking $10. Okay, they're not trying to better themselves in that regard. They're just is an expectation from them, and that's what I'm hoping that a lot of players aren't going to do. But that is the mistake that I can see, that by giving a 5-star unit to people, you're creating an expectation that this is always what's going to happen, when in all honesty it's not. It shouldn't. But that is my personal opinion on that, and that's where, you know, I'm going to say that I think, in all honesty, this is one of the greatest things that Kuro Games has done, is showcase the respective players. Go ahead and be like, look, we do care, we want to make sure that you're having a good time, but I'm hoping that they're going to make sure that there is a cutoff, because I am not a person that really wants Kuro Games just to hand me everything. I'm not sure about you, but I'll put it like this: I'm the type of person that I believe in player ethic. I believe that if I want to do something, I need to earn it. I need to have the challenge. I need to have whatever it takes to be able to earn the right to have this ability, to have this character. That my wallet should not just be dictated, and it should not just be handed to me. You know, that it should be an earned right. But I know some people out there probably don't agree with that, and that's fine. That is how it is for you. I feel like, you know, I'm a little bit different in that regards. Okay, I don't expect a game developer to give me anything just for free. Okay, I expect a developer to give me what the only thing is a game that provides me a challenge, that provides me fun, that provides me the ability to go into the abyss of a new world and have a fantasy story, everything else, and just having an enjoyment. Because I'll put it like this before we end the video, I'll say it like this: my recent experience with gacha games, and one game in particular I like to call Wallet May Cry, which is the Devil May Cry Peak of Combat game, is a game that legitimately does the complete opposite of what Kuro Games is doing. You have a community manager and developers that has an IP of Devil May Cry that is basically bastardizing it, that is doing everything they can to make players, you know, have to spend money. Best example is that they did a 6-month anniversary. They gave you what's called anniversary vault breakers, that you can do these events to collect these vault breakers, so that way you can go ahead and get these characters and everything else. Situation that ended up happening, you didn't get enough vault breakers in the event to actually even meet pity within the game. So you still had to spend money to go ahead to even go through this vault, and that was kind of shitty. With them, another example with them, it's straight up is that they treat certain players like trash and certain players like gold, in a sense. Because, for example, they have a VIP program. In order to get into the VIP program, you have had to spend over 10,000 United States dollars. So 10,000 USD, it was the minimum did you have to spend in order to be invited into the VIP program to play with, you know, possible new characters and stuff like this, to experience stuff, to get, you know, to get put into a gambling system, to get a chance to get a free new character, stuff like this. And legitimately, things like this is just scummy and pretty damn bad. I'm not sure how Genshin, I'm not sure how, you know, other gacha games handle, but like this gacha game, I did care about it a lot, and I did do a lot of content on it. And the way Nebula Joy handled everything, just in all honesty, was really, really bad. And that's the reason why I have such a high regards, a high respect for Kuro Games, because the way they have portrayed everything, the way that they are working with players and such, you can see a complete opposite of what like Nebula Joy does for others. And that's why, like I said, I think that to end this video, basically, I think that a lot of different developers out there who develop games in general, not just gacha games, but games in general, should take a look at like Kuro Games' generosity, and, you know, use that to your benefit when you're making your games and you're developing your games. Because at the end of the day, respecting your player base, respecting your community will by far make you succeed a lot better than just trying to take away from their wallet. So I'll leave this to you guys for the next part of the conversation. Drop a comment down below what your thoughts is about Kuro Games' generosity. Do you agree with my assumptions? Do you disagree with my assumptions? You know, hey, how do you feel? Because like I stated, Kuro Games is not dying. I mean, the Kuro Games, Wuthering Waves is not dying. And the generosity, the only issue that I could see with them giving us generosity is just that there will be an expectation from players, and that's the only real big problem that I can see from it. But like I said, I'd like to hear from you guys. You let me know, and I tell you what, otherwise than that, I really have nothing else. If you liked the video, please, by all means, hit that like button. Comment on the video down below. Share this with people out there, especially those who says that Wuthering Waves is going to die. Share this video with them. Share my channel with them and let them know that FOXSOL says this game's not going to die, and they can come at me and I'm going to explain to them. I will educate them the best I possibly can. So, otherwise than that, keep it classy, keep it jazzy, keep it real, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Have a good day.